Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Discussion for Friday, May 26, 2023. We are getting ready for the Memorial Day weekend, and we have a lot to talk about. So let's dive right into it. First, we take a look at the tropics, as we always do for premium members. If you're interested in becoming a premium consulting member, then just check out the link on top right over here, where you can subscribe for only $11 a month or $80 a year. Now, let's get into the weather. Now, throughout the tropical Atlantic, it's quiet, but the National Hurricane Center has highlighted this area. Now, this is what we call an upper level low, and it's going to have an important impact on our weather pattern, along with another upper level low, which we'll talk about in just a moment. The National Hurricane Center highlighted this area, especially around the Carolinas, but noted that there is almost 0% chance that we'd actually see any type of tropical development out of it. So I'm kind of curious as to why it's highlighted. This is a perfect scenario of what's basically driven by a thermal gradient, and I'll show you that as well in the mid-levels. And when a low pressure system is driven by a thermal gradient, that means it's extratropical. When a low pressure system is driven by latent heat release and a warm center and rapidly rising air, that's a warm core low. We have no indication whatsoever in any model data of any type of warm core low. So this is just an extratropical storm, almost basically like a coastal storm around the Carolinas that will bring plenty of rainfall to North and South Carolina and Virginia, and parts of the southern mid-Atlantic, and even parts of southern New Jersey. We'll talk about that in just a moment as well. But no other tropical development is expected. Now, when we take a look at the water vapor satellite picture here, this really tells the whole story. Really, right here, everything you need to forecast here is right here in front of you. Okay, you have an upper level low spinning about around the Canadian Maritimes in northern Maine that will continue to sit around the Canadian Maritimes through the weekend. We have an upper level low developing to the southeast, and we are in the middle. Now you see this area right here with this yellow. This is a signal of sinking air. Okay, now remember, the atmosphere is always looking for a balance. So when you have rising air here, there must be sinking air somewhere, which is right here. So it's really strong. So that produces strong high pressure for us. And for 99% of the region today, all the way on through this weekend and into next week, we're just going to be talking about high pressure. Beautiful weather conditions. However, as this upper level low develops, it's going to try to draw moisture from the tropical Atlantic and swing it into our region. But it's going to get suppressed by our rising 500 millibar heights, which we can see right here. For almost everyone, except for once you get down towards southern New Jersey and the Delmarva Peninsula. So we're going to be watching that very, very carefully. On the infrared satellite picture, you can see pretty clearly beautiful weather conditions over our neck of the woods, but you can see the clouds starting to increase here around Cape May. And you can certainly see the convection growing very nicely here off the southeast coast. Clearly, we're seeing a low pressure system starting to develop, and we can see that very nicely here on our WeatherTap surface map and radar. You can see a stationary front with a wave of low pressure and a trough here and plenty of heavy rain. You have another low pressure system associated with our upper level low diving in towards that area of rainfall. But we have high pressure dominating our entire region, providing tranquil weather conditions for everybody for today. Now, temperatures this morning, let me just rotate right through here, range from the upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior, lower to mid 50s in your suburbs, mid to upper 50s in your urban areas, with winds from the north-northeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So you can see the influence of high pressure as the air is streaming down towards our low pressure system, and as a result, because of the position of the high pressure system, we're going to end up with a northeasterly wind today. Not very strong, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So let's dive into the evolution of our weekend. Now, first we'll take a look at 500 millibars, right? And you can see very clearly over the next 48 hours, there's our upper level low, Here's our other upper level low, and this is a ridge separating the two. And that's what's influencing our weather for most of this weekend. You get a little bit closer down, and you can see at 500 millibars, same thing. But then on Sunday, we start to see an increase in lifting down towards southern New Jersey, and that continues to consolidate on Memorial Day. And you can see also this is clearly cold core because you can see the thermal gradient. Under the upper level low, chilly conditions, cold, relative. And then over the Gulf Stream, very warm. This is a thermal gradient. This is driven by a thermodynamic processes. This is a thermal gradient. So this is clearly cold core, okay? But you could see the influence of pulling that moisture up towards the Delmarva Peninsula and the influence of the tropical air trying to surge northward. So why won't it rain for, let's say, north of Atlantic City or central New Jersey or New York City or even Philadelphia, but it will down in Cape May? Well, let's take a look at 700 millibar relative humidity. And for most of this weekend, it's pretty quiet. Not much. There isn't much in the way of moisture. At most you get up to maybe 50% relative humidity at 700 millibars, so that supports scattered clouds, but that's about it. But notice on Sunday afternoon, look at this gradient. Look at this sinking air here. Okay, we're falling below 10%, but then down towards Cape May, down the tip of New Jersey and down over the Delmarva Peninsula, you're pushing close to 100%. And that intensifies further on Memorial Day, where to the north of Atlantic City, relative humidity falls below 10% in spots. Meanwhile, down in Cape May, New Jersey, it's up around 100%. The same thing around the Delmarva and off towards Maryland and parts of Virginia. And that continues to intensify throughout Memorial Day weekend, and then it gets pushed down to the south again. So what this leads to is an evolution in our precipitation potential for southern New Jersey. So for today, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Temperatures are going to rise into the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast, and lower to mid 70s in the Delaware River Valley. On Saturday, beautiful again, tranquil, comfortable weather conditions. Temperatures are going to range from the lower to mid 50s for lows, and high temperatures are going to range from the lower to mid 70s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast, and mid to upper 70s in the Delaware River Valley. Now on Sunday, this is where the forecast gets a little bit more tricky. On Sunday, we start to see an increase in cloud cover. I'm going to put a threat for an isolated shower or two down towards Cape May, but for the most part, it's not going to be too bad of a day. You might have to watch out for an isolated shower or two down towards around Atlantic City and southern New Jersey, but everyone else is beautiful. Why? Because we have dry air at 700 millibars, so at the most you get scattered cloud cover. Temperatures are going to range from the lower to mid 50s for lows, and high temperatures are going to range from the lower to mid 70s on the immediate coasts, possibly hold to around 70 and 69 down towards extreme southern New Jersey. Meanwhile, over the interior will range from the mid to upper 70s, and in the Delaware River Valley, upper 70s to lower 80s. Now, on Memorial Day, this is where the forecast gets a bit tricky. For New York City and Philadelphia and most of the suburbs, beautiful scattered cloud cover. In fact, clear skies as you go further north. Down towards southern New Jersey, though, you can see right around Cape May County, that's where we're expecting a period of heavy rainfall. Could push over a half an inch of rain. There are some guys that puts it up to as much as 1 inch of rain if it lingers like this. Meanwhile, just to the north, just a few scattered showers and nothing to the north of Atlantic City. So that's going to lead to a pretty nice thermal gradient. Low temperatures will range from the lower to mid 50s throughout the region. High temperatures, though, this is where it gets tricky because you have sinking air over central New Jersey and around Philadelphia. Sinking air warms. So down towards southern New Jersey, you're going to have temperatures stuck in the 60s and 70s, especially as you go down towards portions of extreme southern New Jersey. However, everywhere else we'll see temperatures range from the lower to mid 70s along the coast, like around Long Island, central New Jersey, upper 70s to mid 80s over the interior. And if we get enough sinking air, we could see mid to upper 80s in the Delaware River Valley. So you have periods of rain down towards Cape May, so it's not going to get very warm. You know, you'll push into maybe the lower 70s, upper 60s, somewhere in that neck of the woods. But you got sunshine and sinking air in Philadelphia with urban heat island effect, and you're going to see your temperatures spike. So that is going to be a very interesting process to watch on Memorial Day. So certainly it's going to lead to a wide range of temperatures. Again, anyone north of Atlantic City, it's going to be a beautiful weekend. No issues. Go out there, have a good time, barbecue, whatnot. But the further south you get, the higher potential there will be for rainfall. Now the rest of the forecast isn't too bad. On Tuesday, high pressure will be in control with tranquil weather conditions. Low temperatures will range from the mid to upper 50s for lows, and high temperatures will range from the upper 70s to lower 80s on the immediate coast, upper 70s to lower 80s over the interior, and mid to upper 80s in the Delaware River Valley. On Wednesday, high pressure again in control, tranquil weather conditions expected. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 70s on Long Island, upper 70s to lower 80s along the rest of the coast, and lower to mid 80s away from the coast. Now, the high pressure system will be off the coast by Thursday, and that's going to start to push in more of a tropical air mass. So your low temperatures are going to range from the upper 50s to lower 60s. Your high temperatures are going to be very much summer-like. Mid to upper 70s on Long Island. Upper 70s to mid 80s on the immediate coast. But away from the coast, temperatures will range from the mid to upper 80s over the interior and upper 80s to lower 90s in the Delaware River Valley. And then next Friday, we'll have high pressure off the coast. We'll be watching a backdoor cold front approaching, but I think it will hold off until the late evening hours. So look for increasing cloud cover, but a strong southwesterly wind is going to support low temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. High temperatures, though, will really spike. Look for mid to upper 80s over the northern interior, mid to upper 80s along the coast, but lower to mid 90s in the Delaware River Valley. After this cold front jumps through, well, marine air mass returns, and our temperatures plummet back into the 60s and 70s once again. So this period of hot weather lasts about 2 days. And really, if you want to call it heat wave conditions, that's really on Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday, the temperatures free fall as a maritime air mass takes hold. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful weekend. And as always, stay safe out there.